So, hello and welcome back to the channel. And in today's episode, we'll finish styling our login model by styling and placing in the right place the button container, cancel and login buttons. And we'll also see how can we actually validate an user by using some kind of fake authentication service and how to display an error. So let's get going. First things first, let's finish. Maybe let's do the error, right? I can see that this property is optional. Well, that's because you might or might not have an error. Maybe everything went out smoothly. So we'll do conditional rendering to check where the login error exists. And if it does, we'll use some kind of error component and render login error here. About the error itself, this is gonna be rather easy because this is gonna be a simple div with some kind of color. So let's do error. This is gonna be style div. Not too much to it, maybe a little bit of padding. Let's set the font size and color red. Sorry. Okay, and now if we pass an error here, see it, yeah, I'm an error. Okay, it's cool. Now about the buttons. I would like to have them in a horizontal line and span across the modal width. Okay, so what we need actually is some kind of container. Let's create one. And we will change our custom button instead of default one provided by the browser. So let's get here and buttons. A little bit of, oh, that's wrong. Okay. So now it should look a little bit better. I should fix that, of course. So for the button container, button container, add some padding to the tab, 10%. We'll use the flex, of course, to display stuff. Justify the content to be spaced between and with 100%. Now, that will do for our button container, and now for our button itself. We could do style div, but I believe it's better to do the style button as well. The button. We'll turn the cursor to pointer to inform the user that he can click that. We'll change the border. 3 pixels, solid RGB Okay, that's that. Then we'll change the font size 16 pixels. Of font weight will change to bold. Display to inline flex. Align items to center. Justify content to center. We'll specify the min width so it looks a little bit better. We'll add padding 8 pixels and 16 pixels. Line height of what height 1 AM. Color is going to be, well, it's going to be white. Then the background color is going to be red. Color, it. Come on. Okay, now we have it. And that should be it, apart from the fact that I would like to change the size on hover. So we'll change the color to be black. Background color to be white. And border color to be white too. Okay, let's see where we can use it. And that's format document. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Now it looks good, right? The one thing that might be slightly different, we're using the oh, this should be bold. Is that it? Okay, one thing that we might change is the color of the border. Right, so change it here to black. Well, it actually doesn't make sense because the background is black. Okay, now it looks kind of cool. Okay, so this is good enough for me when it comes to styling. I believe this looks reasonable, right? What we can do is slap on click here already, and this is gonna be on same as the on background click. That actually should be called on close, really. So change that. Oh, not that one. Sometimes the good name for a prop comes with time. It's not a problem, really. Okay, and it works. So we can close by clicking here, or here, or here. Now it makes sense. So the next step. For the next step, we need to log in our user somehow. And obviously in real life, that would require some kind of backend service to log into. And I hope to build one in the future series. But we'll see about that. For now, we pass on login requested, and we'll trigger it here. So on click, we'll trigger on login requested, and we have to pass the values here, and this require us to create a state. So actually 2 states even. Do login and set login, and this is gonna be empty string, and let's do password and set password use state, also empty string, and pass this here. So this is going to be value of login, and to change that we will use event. So set login, it's going to be event target value, and here on change we can create set password of target value, and here we will just call it with password and login. So let's see. Let's try. Oh, the problem is this does not render properly, right? Because of the color. Let's see. Color white. That's it. Yeah, and background color. Let's make this white, and then this can stay as is. Okay, that's one thing we are missing. Let's fix that real quick. Here and here. Background color white. Dude. Oh, why not? Because of that. Okay. Yes. Okay, now it looks like something you can use. Okay. So sorry for that, it just from autocomplete stuff. Test. Let's see that. Okay. And as you can see, this is an easy way to call our own login requested method. But there's another feature, interesting one we can add. So when it comes to forms, users often press enter to call the method connected to this form, right? And we can do that by adding on key down function here and here. Okay, so let's create one real quick. This is gonna be, let's call it just on down. We'll take an event naturally, and we can check that one. So this is gonna be on key of down, on key down here, and on key down here. And this is gonna be React keyboard event presented on, this is generic, remember, HTML input element. Okay, now that should go away. Okay, let's try enter here. Okay, we have type key down, this is good. And actually you can see that there's the key code here, but from what I know, nowadays you should use key or code to check for which button was pressed. So let's see. Key, if you see key code is deprecated, there's a key and there's a code, right? We'll use the key. So if key equals enter, and just call on login requested, login and password. Okay, let's try that. This is my name, by the way, the official one. And let's press enter, and you can see that this is triggering. So that's the basic way how you can trigger form submission with enter key. Actually, yeah, the truth is that this whole should be really semantically proper. This should be in a form, but don't mind that. This is good. Now here. Now here we need some kind of fake service. So let's create one. Fake out service. And we will port login user method that I'm about to create. So this can be login user. It's asynchronous. We don't need really to specify it as asynchronous because I can just write this takes login args. I could just port this login args. Port from part about it, small pop-up, login modal, login args. Cool. Function and password and login comes from here. This will return new promise. So reject, and we'll set a timeout of 1/2 second, and we'll check whether login is equal to cyber potato and whether password equal to test 1 2 3 4. Okay, if so, we'll resolve, for example, true value, else we'll reject maybe some kind of information reason. What's the reason? Credentials are wrong. Let's see. The promise is type unknown. Okay, we will handle that. Can we type it properly though? Should return a boolean, right? But it can reject with a string. Okay, so let's try that. Result. This is going to be the result of calling our fake app login user with actually don't need to tag that. Okay, let's see the result. So I will open that, say that this is super potato and test 1 2 3 4 login. Credentials are wrong for some reason. Test from, okay, let's do this with a small letter up front. Test 1 2 3 4. True. Okay, so that works. But we have to have a way to handle that error, right? So naturally, we can wrap this in try catch C. E, maybe, well, error. Because E, I tend to use E to mark the events. Let's see, this is gonna be error, and just for fun, see all the properties, simplify it. Credentials are wrong. Okay, so this is an error. Let's create a state. Call that error real quick. Login error, set login error. Okay, use state. This is gonna be, we'll start with null, but I will specify that it can be string or null. Okay, so if that happens, set login error to be an error and pass it here. Well, that's a little bit of a problem, because that is string or null, and here we expect undefined. So I would rather stick with undefined, therefore change it something like this. Okay, let's see. Make it a little bigger. Whatever, actually. And if I press login, credentials are wrong. It's perfect. So this is basically how you can create some simple login model in React. And in the last episode of the series, which is going to be the next episode, I will show you how to use that base model that we did to present some kind of different control in it. And we'll probably use the pin that we've built in the previous series. So I will see you there. Goodbye.